Welcome to Sumita Roy's English classroom. I'm Professor Sumita Roy, and this video is Advanced Pronunciation. We have already had two videos on pronunciation. At the basic level, we learnt that 44 sounds of English, 20 vowel sounds, and 24 consonant sounds. With each sound, there were examples. You need to watch that video. Then only you go to the mid-level video, which has consonant clusters, where more than one consonant comes in a single part or a single syllable of the word. These clusters are difficult sometimes for speakers whose mother tongue is not English. Then we come to the syllable also in the mid-level video. In the advanced video, we are going a step further. We are going to first talk about the polysyllabic words. That means a word which has more than one syllable. Two or three syllable words. We shall see how one part of the word, that is one syllable, is pronounced with extra force. You put a lot of energy into that one syllable, not all the syllables. This is called stress or accent. It is marked by a small dash on top of the top front of the place where the stress is, where the accent is. So we shall do this in the accented form. We shall start with words which are often mispronounced. The details of the pronunciation or how they are mispronounced, you will easily understand if you watch the beginners and the mid-level videos. If you share these videos with people who are searching for good English, that will be very beneficial, especially for me, because every day I get so many mails and messages saying we want more learning of English. There, if you share, if you put a like to these videos, maybe they will get it online. I'm making the videos to help all of you. So let us look at the various syllables and their accent. We can look at also the words which are mispronounced. At the end of this video, we shall talk about breath group. Much later in another video, I will talk to you about intonation. Not now. These are the three basic steps for learning pronunciation. For the time being, we will stop with these basic steps because many of you are keen to go on to grammar again. So I will take up pronouns after this. Let us now talk about the pattern of accent. First is a list of words often mispronounced. The mispronunciation can be that the spelling is different and the sound to be used is different. Again, let me repeat to you that there are only 5 vowels in written English, A, E, I, O, U, and the number of sounds these 5 make are 20. This you have already seen in the beginners video. Those 20 sounds are important. So how they are spelled, there is not much I can tell you about it because you have to learn that only by practice. Then the 24 consonants also. Sometimes consonants are misused in the sense that you don't use the right consonant, where you look at the spelling and you go by the spelling, not by the pronunciation. The other mistake which people make is the accent. Since we have not done accent yet, I will just pronounce these words, which you can repeat and practice many times. Pronunciation does not come by practicing once. You have to go on practicing it. And then as we go ahead in the lessons, of pronunciation, you will understand why the word is mispronounced and how it can be correctly pronounced. Let us go to the first word, against. Here it is a consonant cluster, against. Chaos, CH is written, it's pronounced as K, that is K sound, chaos. Elite, garage. 11, very often mispronounced as 11. It is not 11, it is 11. Hotel, not hotel, but hotel. Miracle, lodge. Cucumber, remedy. Yellow, very often mispronounced as yellow. It's not yellow, it's yellow, yeah sound. Khan, Khan is proper noun. Similarly, Edinburgh, next column, last word. Then you have England. It is not England, it is England. And then you have Ecuador. These four are all proper nouns. I've put them last. Now you have BU, very often mispronounced word. This is pronounced like Berry, berry. It is not bury, it is berry. Although U is written, it is pronounced as A. Awe, liaison, enough, etiquette, hour, naughty, mishap, depot, tyranny, yacht, chores. Now you remember chaos. CH is written chaos. Here CH is written, it's pronounced as chores. Comb, epitome, epitome is also pronounced. Debris, kernel. Now sometimes in some parts it is pronounced as colonel also, but kernel is what the UK pronunciation is. Judgment, only, buffet. Resume, noun form and verb form different. Resume, noun form, resume, that is verb form. Woman, then England I already told you. Cafe, debt, B is not pronounced, it's pronounced as debt. Ballet, restaurant, psychology, leisure, police, creature, neglect, uncle, women. Now woman is there, then women. Although the spelling changes in the second part of the word, the pronunciation changes in the first part of the word. Singular we say woman, plural we say we-man. The man remains the same, but the first part gets a different pronunciation. So keep practicing. When you get a longer list of mispronounced words, you keep adding your own words which you find often mispronounced. You are finding difficulty in pronouncing. You are checking up the pronunciation dictionary. Then you can add to this list. Keep expanding whatever you're learning so that you learn much more than is given in the videos. Now we begin the stress or accent, how it is pronounced. First, we shall take two-syllable words. Here, accent is on the first syllable in the first slide. Two-syllable words. Two-syllable would mean that it has two distinct vowels in the word. The syllable is divided, as you will find if you watch the medium level, mid-level pronunciation, where we have clearly shown with lot of examples what a syllable is or what more than one syllable is. So here there are two-syllable words. Of the two-syllable, the first syllable is pronounced with more energy, more force. That is what is indicated here. And we have in the next slide two-syllable words with accent in the second syllable. This is followed by 3 slides where you have three-syllable words, accent on the first, second, and third syllable each slide. So let us see how these words are pronounced. As you can see, the first word, I have put A and N in red, that is the accented syllable, and GER in black, that is pronounced very softly. So we say anger, anger, ang, so much stress, g, lot less stress. So we say anger. We don't say anger. That would be second syllable stress. We don't say anger. Ger would mean that stress is on the second syllable. If you make such a mistake, or if you pronounce anger as anger, same both syllables, then your rhythm of English is going. Every language has its own rhythm. So to keep the rhythm of the English language, you need to keep the syllable stress in mind. Accent or stress, that is interchangeable. So here, the next word is private. Pri, lot of stress, wit, no stress. Then global. Glow, lot of stress, bil, no stress. Leader. Lead, lot of stress, der, less stress. Basket, basket. Picture, beauty, beau, lot of stress, t, no stress. Travel, happy, answer, answer. That is how the first stress is there. There are many rules of how we determine the accent pattern. Maybe in a video, further videos of pronunciation, I will talk about it. Now I'm just giving you some examples. By looking at these examples, you will understand how the pattern of stress is determined. After the two-syllable words, which had accent in the beginning, we come to two-syllable words which have accent on the second syllable. So we have the word police, not police. Police is wrong pronunciation. Pronunciation is police. That stress is there. Then contain, dislike, about, today, enjoy, concern, neglect, among, endure. You have to pronounce these loudly and clearly and many times. In case your pronunciation is already correct, maybe you can pronounce it 2-3 times to keep it in mind. If you have been mispronouncing any of these words, what you can do is you can pronounce them 10 or 20 times. I remember while making some recordings with small children, simple words they could not pronounce. Then some of the children started repeating them 20 to 30 times. After that, during the recording, they pronounced it beautifully because children have that ability to imitate. Children have that ability to repeat whatever they hear. So when they hear something, they hear somebody selling something on the road, they can pronounce that exactly in the same tone and in the same accent as the person who's shouting out those things. When you see the children do this, we can also be like them. Although most of you are adult learners, we can always become children when we learn pronunciation. And by listening and pronouncing loudly, we can get better. So all these are two-syllable words where the accent is on the second syllable. Here are three-syllable words. So first you have to find out what are the three syllables that we worked out in the mid-level pronunciation last part of the video. Many of you feel the videos are long, but please remember this is a classroom. It is not a casual lecture. Somebody asked a question by saying that the other videos are not serious. They are very serious. but they are lectures which I gave in an open auditorium to a group of people, maybe for an hour or half an hour. They were not structured like a classroom. Here, what I'm trying to do for you is put it in a course. Somebody wrote a mail just today saying that they have an interview in 3 months and they want to learn good English in 3 months. Yes, that is possible. You can certainly learn, but then you have to follow the videos and follow the instruction I'm giving in the videos. So if you find that the video is long, please do not see the video all at once. Now we did the first slide was maybe 3-4 minutes, only words which are mispronounced. You watch that, you watch it 10 times, and then you get the correct pronunciation. Then you come to the 2 slides which have 2-syllable words. So watch only those 2 slides. Go on pronouncing those words again and again. If you come across similar 2-syllable words, you can add to that list and make the list longer. Now we come to the 3-syllable words, 3 slides. First syllable stress, second syllable stress, and third syllable stress. So we have here the word etiquette. Now, how are the syllables? A is 1 syllable, T is 1 syllable, T and E, and ket is 1 syllable. Now look at the third syllable, it's so long. In spelling, it is Queette. That is 6 letters. But how is the pronunciation? The pronunciation is ket. K, A, T. This is what we studied in the beginner's video, the sounds. We don't say anymore, K. K means 2 sounds, K and A. So we say K. We don't say T. T is 2 sounds, T and E. So when we write the alphabet, when we write the symbol, phonetic symbol T, we pronounce it as T. We don't pronounce it as T. When we write the letters of the alphabet, we still say A, B, C, D, and so on. T also we say. So here we have etiquette. A is only the first syllable, that is where the stress is. So we say etiquette, 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 etiquette. That is how it's pronounced. Then you have beautiful, beautiful. That is, those are the 3 syllables. Beau is 1 syllable, T is 1 syllable, full is 1 syllable, of which the first beau is stressed. Then you have privilege. You have privilege, 3 syllables. Pre is 1 syllable, V is 1 syllable, and ledge is 1 syllable. So we say privilege, privilege. That much softness is there in the 2 syllables. The first syllable is pronounced with more force, more stress. Then you have parliament. You have the form par, 1 syllable, stressed, lia, 1 syllable, meant, 1 syllable. Ear is a diphthong. I explained to you double vowel sounds, but they are considered as a single vowel. Although the sound is made by adding 2 vowels, like ear, but it is not considered as 2 vowels when we are counting the syllables. A diphthong is also a single vowel, so it's a single syllable. The number of vowels determines the number of syllable. This I explained to you in the mid-level pronunciation video. I'm repeating here. If there are 2 vowels in a sentence, in a word, that has 2 syllables. If there are 3 vowels, there are 3 syllables. But you see how many vowels are written in the word etiquette? You have E, you have I, you have Q, you have E, again you have E again at the end of the word. But so many vowels are not pronounced. E is pronounced as A, I is pronounced as T, Q U E T T E. That last T is not pronounced at all. Q U E. E, it's pronounced. Q U E together, ket. So k sound is there, E sound is there, A and T sound is there. So these are the ways in which you have to understand that spelling. Many of you are getting a lot of doubts about spelling and pronunciation. That is why I'm repeating again and again that English spelling is dependent on the 26 letters of the English alphabet. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, which you learnt when you went to school first. The problem with English is that we have learnt a lot, but if we have learnt it wrongly, we have to correct it. If you start learning a language from the beginning correctly, then you have no problem. But if you learn it wrongly, then correcting it becomes so much more difficult. That is what is happening to most of our English. And that is where the problem lies. So somebody wants a motivation video. Maybe I'll make a video of motivation. But you have to self-motivate yourself and understand that spellings are dependent on those 26 symbols. But how can 26 symbols represent 44 sounds? So the symbols fall short. Therefore, a single symbol or a combination of symbols might stand for much more than what it actually is. And there are lots of confusions in this. That reason is because English has many roots. So you cannot say that English is bad because of its pronunciation. It has its own pronouncing rules, which you have to learn, but it might be different from your mother tongue. And therefore, the problem is that you have to identify the sound and only then decide how that sound is used. Don't go by the spelling. Somebody asked me 2, 3 times, I think, as to how to spell names. Now, the spelling of names, if it's the name of a place, then it is standard spelling. Like India, India, we spell it. Or you have, Russia, you will spell it with 2 S's. Similarly, you have Netherlands, it has its own spelling. You have America, it has its own spelling. You have Australia, it has its own spelling. But when it comes to a name, there are possibilities of spelling differently, especially if they are Indian names. You have a variety of ways of spelling because in English we don't have the difference between t and the t. We have t, t, th, th, p, p. These two sounds we have, k, k. So that difference is very difficult to find in English. So if you have these in the names, the spelling changes. The way you spell it in one part of India might be different from the way you spell it elsewhere. Then you have the sound E. Many people spell it with an I, many people spell it with an EE. So I say I'm Sumita Roy every day. So I spell it with Sumita. Many people might spell it by Sumeetha. TH, becomes the T sound and EE becomes the E sound. So these are all possibilities, changes which are possible. And that depends on who is using that name. That is how it is. You have asked whether, different names of different castes, different religions, different categories, different places, all these different names are possible. For instance, if you go to Europe, the same name has different spellings and different pronunciation in different parts of the continent. Each country, the name might be the same, it might be Joseph, but it is written and pronounced totally different in different places. It is spelt also differently. So don't go by those proper nouns. Look at them as they are spelt by the owner and do that accordingly. There is no standard rule for spelling proper nouns. That I can tell you clearly. Now we come to the next word. We have three syllables. Celebrate. So we say celebrate. Cel, first syllable stress, and then you have the rest. Then you have silently. Si gets stress, lent, li, three syllables. Manager. Ma gets stress, n, jer, two more syllables. So all these are syllables which are stressed in the three syllable words which are stressed at the beginning, the first syllable. Now we move on to the three syllable words which have accent on the second syllable. Look at the words. You have a custom. Three forms are there. First syllable, cus, second syllable, and tum, third syllable. So you have a custom, a small, cus, big, tum, small. So stress is on the second syllable. Then committee, come, me, t. Come and t small, me stressed, me with more force, more accent. Deliver, leave stressed. And then you have ver unstressed. Elastic, e unstressed. Last stress, tick unstressed. Three syllables. All these are three syllables. You can easily make out because here you have syllable in front, syllable at the back in black color, and the red in the middle is the central syllable which is accented. Example, the middle syllable. Decided, again the middle syllable. Then you have important, again middle syllable. Advantage, you can easily make out by the pronunciation how it is, we are using the middle, the second syllable. There is one syllable in front, one at the back, but the one in the middle is what we are putting our accent on. Putting your accent would mean that you keep to the rhythm of the language, you pronounce that with more force, the others with not so much force. For the accent pattern of third syllable words, here the accent is on the last syllable. This is the list where we have seen first syllable stress first, then second, now third syllable stress. Disappoint, dis, up, that is two syllables. Point is where the stress is. Disappoint. Then entertain, enter, no stress, tain, stress. Every day, every day. Every is two syllables, day is the stressed one. Volunteer, volunteer with stress. Disagree, disagree. Re is with more stress. Pie, pie, these are, IO is written, but it is two distinct vowel sounds. So you have pire, two syllables. Near, pioneer. Near is what is stress. Recommend, mend is what is stress. No stress. Afternoon, after, two syllables, no stress. Noon, stressed. Understand, under, no stress, stand. So you have disappoint, entertain, every day, volunteer, disagree, pioneer, recommend, afternoon, understand. That is how, when it is used in a sentence, you have to keep this pattern of stress. That is also very important. Here you have some more examples of accent, but the Idea is different because we have changed the same word into different forms. The word is exactly the same, but it is used in different forms, and with each addition of suffix. We shall study much more about suffix in our vocabulary lessons, but today let me say suffix means something which you add to the end of the word. So you have academy. K is stress. That is the noun form. Now we made it into an adjective by adding IC. So we say academic. We don't say academic. We don't put stress in second syllable. We put it in the third syllable. Academic. Always the penultimate syllable. That means the syllable in front of the suffix is accented. Then you have a person who is, who studies a lot, who is in the profession of teaching or research, etc. So that person is called academician. Now again, see, from de, it has shifted to me. The stress pattern shifts. There's a small dash at the bottom of that. That is the secondary stress, which I'm not doing now. I will do it much later in some other lesson. Today, we are only doing primary stress, and that is at the top of the word. You can see a small dash is there. So we say academy, academic, and academician. The same word, different forms, different parts of speech, and different pronunciation. Then we say politics. Po is gets the stress. Then we say political. P, it doesn't remain paw, it remains p. Political. Then politician. Stress shifts to politician. So you see how different the stress pattern is, although the word is derived from the same root. Individual, that is the stress in the first word. Then you have individuality. A is where the stress is. Then you have individualistic. Stress is in the li. You can easily see the stress by looking at the word that is, the word which is the syllable above which there is a small mark. You can see this mark. Don't look at this at present because we have not come to that. I will do that much later. That is the secondary stress. This, what I'm showing on the top of the syllable, a small dash, that is the primary stress. You have the word nation, A sound. Then you have nationality, nationalize. Then you have economy, economics, economical, me gets the stress. This kind of a change of pattern and stress is important also for you to remember when you're using it. For instance, many people, because we say nationality, they might say nation, or we say nation, so you say nationality or nationalize. These are common mistakes which are made, which you should avoid. Here is one rule of accent, and that is noun and adjective are usually stressed in the first syllable and verb in the second syllable. So you have the same word which is used both. The spelling is exactly the same. The usage is different because it has two different functions in the sentence. We say object when it is a noun. Object, you show something and say, this is the object. Whereas somebody is stopping you from doing something, somebody is saying you are wrong, then that is called object. So we don't say or, we say object. Ob becomes small, ject becomes big. Similarly, perfect, perfect. Then you have perfect, perfect. Per becomes small, fect becomes more. Then you have project, noun form, project. And the verb project, you show, you display, then you say project. Record. Cud is small. Re gets lot of stress. Noun form. The verb form record. Record. Not cud, but cord. Same spelling, but different pronunciation. Please note, those of you who are getting doubts about spelling, please listen to these very carefully. The spelling does not determine the pronunciation. You need to learn the pronunciation by identifying the sound, not the alphabet. The alphabet might misguide you. The alphabet might not tell you what the pronunciation is. Then you have the word produce. Produce is, you are using the stress. Then you have produce. Small, deuce, verb form. So produce, when the change from the noun and the verb comes, the accent is shifting to the next syllable. That is what you have to remember. You can add to this list also and learn how changes affect the pronunciation. Now we have, very important for speaking and reading, how you construct the sentence where you stop. We can only speak when we are breathing out. We cannot speak when we are breathing in. So sometimes we have to break the sentence or break whatever we are saying and take a breath inside. This is what is called the breath group. I have given you two passages with breath group. In the first passage, I've written breathe, breathe, breathe. That is the breath group. It breaks like that. Punctuation tells you the breath group. That is one. The other is a group of words which come together also tells you the breath group. The second passage and the first passage can be used for speaking, listening, reading, and of course writing. All of you can use this for writing. Expand what I have written here. Suppose somebody tells you that, how's the weather in whichever part you are? I got some letter from Bihar. I got some letter from Kerala. So somebody asks you, how's the weather in your place? Then you say, the weather is excellent today. Stop, breathe. Have you gone for a walk outside? Again, breathe. This is the most wonderful time of year. Again, stop and breathe. The question mark, the full stop, these are long punctuation marks. I went to the park earlier. Now see, comma is there, but you can breathe. And I enjoyed some sunshine. Now, if you say, I went to the park earlier and I enjoyed some sunshine, this is all wrong breath groups. You stopped at the wrong places where you should not have stopped. This change you have to make. So you have to say, I went to the park earlier and I enjoyed some sunshine. The weather has been great recently. Semicolon, again you stop. I hope it stays that way. Full stop, again you stop. The best part of summer is this, the sunshine. Now, many places it rains throughout the year, so they love sunshine. Hyderabad, of course, has a lot of sunshine, but in other places, you have maybe no sunshine at all. So this passage is telling us how precious sunshine is for people who are away from the sun, who have cloudy skies all through the year. So you see how the breath group is. I'll read it again together. The weather is excellent today. Have you gone for a walk outside? This is the most wonderful time of year. I went to the park earlier and I enjoyed some sunshine. The weather has been great recently. I hope it stays that way. The best part of summer is this, the sunshine. So this is how you read. While speaking also, keep the breath groups clear. Only then your speech makes sense. If you break in the wrong places, then it does not make sense. one more passage, and that is the end of this video. I will read it slowly with the correct pauses. The red lines indicate the breath group, and you can practice by reading it. You reading, speaking, listening, writing, all the passages I have been giving you in every video is useful. You have to take those passages out and make your own exercises of speaking and writing, reading and listening out of them. I also will try to do it because beginners, many of them are writing mails, etc. As I told you, they just write, "Hello, madam, good morning, madam," and that's it. They don't write anything more. So, what they want to say is that they want to write English, they want to learn English, but they do not have the words to say it. We will talk about all the passages which I have used and try to make you do some speaking and listening through them. Let us now come to the breath group exercise. Great truths are easily understood. I'm not breaking anywhere. I'm not saying great truths are easily understood or great truths are easily understood. I'm not breaking like that. I'm saying the same thing in the single breath. Great truths are easily understood. Then I'm stopping. When expressed through a simple story. Now, here also, I'm not saying when, expressed through a simple story. That is all wrong breaking. I'm not breaking, I'm reading it throughout. When expressed through a simple story. Parables, see, I'm stopping at the end of one word. Therefore, occupy an important place in the teaching of saints and seers. Jesus, Muhammad, Buddha, the Vedic seers have again and again used this method for effective teaching of religious truths. In this respect, they are widely different from philosophers. Parables teach moral codes in order to help society to move in the right direction. They are as interesting as they are beneficial, and many of these parables can be used for learning language too. So you can easily see how it is. If you read the parables of Christ, very important, interesting. And based on those stories, you can go and, start speaking or start writing Buddha's Jataka tales, very beautiful stories. You can always read them and use them for your learning of language. I'll read the passage once through. Great truths are easily understood when expressed through a simple story. Parables, therefore, occupy an important place in the teachings of saints and seers. Jesus, Muhammad, Buddha, the Vedic seers have again and again used this method for effective teaching of religious truths. In this respect, they are widely different from philosophers. Parables teach moral codes in order to help society to move in the right direction. They are as interesting as they are beneficial, and many of these parables can be used for learning language too. That is how the reading is done. Make it a habit of reading as much as you can, and always read aloud. That is excellent for improving your pronunciation. I hope you have understood what we have done. Practice is, your responsibility. Please practice much. And as I told you, please share it with everybody who wants these topics so that my job becomes easier. I don't have to keep telling people that, I will share with you and so on. The amount of messages and mails I get is unthinkable. So all of you who have joined this, series of lectures, try to be in one team, my own team, and help me by passing on this information. The more you spread the idea, the better it is, saves me a lot of effort. Thank you and all the best.